Thanks for tuning in to TapRooT TV today. I'm here with a special guest. I have Jim Whiting, and he is in Australia. So as his day is just beginning, ours is coming to a close. I'm so excited to have him here with us. He's going to talk about his pre-summit course that he has at our 2022 Global TapRooT Summit. So thank you, Jim, for joining us, and I'll let you take the floor.
Hello, how are you, Emily?
Doing
I'm
well.
very pleased to be able to talk about the pre-summit course that I've given over many years.
Yep, I hear you want to show your screen and tell us a little bit about that. But before we get there, do you mind to share a little bit about your background, kind of how you align with TapRooT and what your experience is?
Yes, so I've been in occupational health and safety and other aspects of risk management for many years. And before that, I was what I like to call a pracademic rather than an academic.
Okay.
At a university here in clinical health and safety. And then after many years of doing research and training, I decided to take over get position of taking over the National Safety Council of Australia. And then so I shifted from clinical to occupational. And then I went out on my own in 98 and one of the first things I did was start using TapRooT as my core tool and method for incident investigations as part of my consultancy and training. And I've really enjoyed applying my risk management and incident investigation tools and techniques and methods over many industries, nearly all industries, and in many countries, right throughout, even in the US, I've been, something came up, I'm sorry. And the application is, as we'll explain later, is across all business decision-making instances, whether it's quality, whether it's safety, whether it's environment. And I've usually not get involved in financial risk management because I think there's a few traps there and a few legalities. Anyway, so that's what I'm really would like to share then with people in my courses, the knowledge and experience I've acquired over many years.
Excellent. So as a special treat, you're coming over here to the United States, to Knoxville, Tennessee, for our summit that we have coming up in May. And the pre-summit course that you're teaching is going to be May 2nd and 3rd. Will you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, think I might just use a couple of reference slides to help the viewers look at and see what's involved. So I'll share the screen.
Okay.
Good. Can you see that, Emily?
I can. Thank you.
So one of the major themes in my course is that risk management is the envelope of the risk management system, ties all our systems together, whether it's safety, health, quality, and as you can see there. So I always promote and explain and show to people how the methods that we use, the principles and the processes are applicable across all the domains, the risk domains as I call them. If I've left out one, maybe IT, I've left out probably security. And I think I've got reputation there, yeah. And at the top of the screen, you can see that the most important reference is NZZ 690.2, which is identical to, to ISO and Australian Standard 31,000 in the risk management principles. And that is an ongoing theme throughout the whole course. It's all based on international standard that is also the US standard. Well, what's in the course? the detailed program is on the website, which I've listed there, and I guess you'll be reminding people how to look at it. But I'm not going to go through every bit. I'll just take out the highlights. So the course level, there's no prerequisites. It's for beginners to advanced standards. Now, who should attend? I'd like to draw the attention to anyone who's got those responsibilities as a leader, as an advisor, as a consultant, as a trainer, as an auditor, as a reviewer, and anyone who's got involved in improvement, continuous improvement in, as I say, in any of the aspects in all industries and business operations. Now, what would you get out of attending? I'll elaborate a little bit on each of these, but we'll take them one at a time. One thing you'll get out of this course is you'll end up being confident that you can do risk management in a consistent, accurate, and with maximum objectivity. You risk, at the moment, I know many people that I've helped aren't confident that their risk assessments are doing what they're supposed to do. So I'd explain and give you practice in how to use the most reliable and consistent methods. I spend about 75% on how, as you'd imagine. So it's a very practical course, so you want to know how to do things. But I also spend a fair bit of time on the why, and I'm a great believer that you don't really understand the how unless you see why you're doing it. So more importantly, you need to understand that all risk assessments are about decision making, and as we call them then, risk-informed decision making. A bit more about that. Naturally, then you will walk away with practical skills and knowledge and of the proven methods and tools that I'll use in the course. More importantly, you'll also have useful templates to develop your own tools and methods. And I'll also elaborate on the strengths and limitations of the matrix methods for risk assessments. A lot of people have arguments about whether the matrix methods are good or bad. I talk about their strengths and limitations and show you some of the alternatives. And whatever you do, you're going to walk away with the strengths and pitfalls of implementing a risk and opportunity management system. So, as I said, I'm a great believer in using standards, and those top three are the most important ones. In actual fact, the third line is the same as the top two lines. ANSI has now adopted the 31,000 and 31,010. But they were just thought I'd show you also that there's prevention through design is relevant, and the methods it uses it. The course's tools can be applied in achieving conformity with these standards. And I thought I'd just list a few others, not going to go through every one of them, and you can look at them at your leisure. I do highlight here the new occupational safety standard and the American Z10 standard are also the risk management aspects, because those are covered in the course. So the process, the course is built around the process of ISO 31000, and you can see it's 5 distinct steps or phases or stages, and at the same time there's some concurrent things should be occurring if you're performing the process of risk management. So the first thing you to do, as you can see, there's identify, establish and agree in the context of the risk exposures and the opportunity pursuits, and all the way down then identify, analyze. A lot of people think identify is the first step, and in actual fact it's not. It's that establish and agree on the context and scope is the first step. Okay. So I'm just giving you a little bit of a taster.
Yeah.
Of the course.
All right.
So the standard looks like that, that I've prefer presenting as, it's exactly the same as that, but I just think it's laid out the way I've shown. And there's even a better way with a flow chart. I I spent a lot of time. This takes, it's as I call it, it's the roadmap through the course. So you go through identify, analyze, evaluate, treat the risks, and before you do, just go back and analyze, and all the time communicating, consulting, and then if you do evaluate and you answer these 3 questions, yes, then you could record and report your results, but you never give up. It's an ongoing, never-ending loop.
Yep. Love it.
So just to make another point in the course, I spend a fair bit of time building on people's understanding of incident investigations, even though this does not require a knowledge of TapRooT. Most people have done some kind of investigations, and I think I just like highlighting the similarities and differences. So an incident map is a sequence of events that leads to consequences with an actual incident, and there's immediate causal factors and there's root causes, and I sometimes call these a macro immediate causes, sometimes a micro causes. Those of you who are familiar with TapRooT and experienced in TapRooT, you'd call these a causal factors and then the root causes. And they look a bit familiar because that's what the TapRooT root cause tree has. But a risk, managing a risk involves understanding how things could happen. Even though the results are negative, it is proactive and it's infinitely smarter than incident investigation. Incident investigations are relatively dumb. You're waiting for things to have done and you're reacting to them, whereas risk management is looking at what could happen in a proactive way. So again, the only thing different then is the what-if incidents and the risk factors rather than causal factors, but they're still root causes of the same root causes. And lastly, I spent a lot of time talking about opportunity management as well. And here it's not, did it happen or could it happen? This is, we're going to make it happen. And this is very positive and proactive. So again, it looks the same. Now it's intended prospect rather than actual incident or risk. And now it's enabling factors, not causal factors. And now it's root enablers. So I think people get a lot out of. And to push, and naturally, one of the important steps is defining the risk, and the best way of defining the risk is a scenario that will that you're considering, what events and circumstances that lead to the negative consequence that you're worried about. And so those of you with a TapRooT background, and you can see familiarity here to a snapshot, where we've got a sequence of events, and here we've got conditions, or in a risk map, there's the sequence of events, and they're all the circumstances and risk factors and so on. Yep. So when should you use risk and opportunity management assessments? Well, I believe, and I make a strong case for, you should be using it at every meeting or every discussion or any process where there's decision making going on. So every time you're discussing, describing, communicating, having conversations and assessments are required. And then that way you make the risk and opportunity communications and the results of your deliberations more objective and less emotional.
I love that. Yep.
Yeah. So the examples, when do you use it? Well, should we do the job this way or that? Mm-hmm. Which way has the lower risks or greater opportunities? Which is the most effective tool, plant, equipment for this job, and so on. And there's numerous other examples. So every time any decision needs to be made, you're going to have to do at least a qualitative and preferably a semi-quantitative risk and opportunity assessment, which the course explains what they are in detail. And you get plenty of practice in doing it.
I love that.
Okay, so just to share with you, working everyday solution definitions I use, the standards use a variety of definitions, and this is a consolidation of all of them. So a prospect I define as a source of possible gain, benefit, profit. A hazard on the other side is a source of possible harm, loss, and detriment. I'll spend a lot of time talking about why I say possible and not potential. Opportunity then is a set of circumstances allowing pursuit of a positive but uncertain prospect, and a risk is a set of circumstances allowing exposure to a negative but uncertain hazard. So you can see how we're building on that. And then we show you, spend a lot of time talking about when it's necessary and appropriate to measure the size of the opportunity risk. We'll see that opportunity is a combination of likelihood and value. That's not always money. And risk is a combination of likelihood and consequence severity. And the combination, the asterisk, we'll spend a bit of time on how they're put together, as I say, qualitatively or quantitatively. And I thought I'd share with you, one of the things we spend a bit of time on is getting the difference between some of the risk management words. And these three, possible, probable, and potential, can cause a lot of problems in how we discuss risk. And I spent a fair bit of time working out the difference and explaining the difference and how we can gain a lot of benefit from seeing they are different. And lastly, then, opportunity management is a process. I put it all together. I'm not going to read it all out. I put it all together, and that's my definition. So it's opportunity management is a process. Opportunity is a set of circumstances, and prospect is the source. So that's why I remember it. Prospect is the source, opportunity is a set of circumstances, and opportunity management is the process. And similarly, risk management is also the process. Hazard is the source, risk is the set of circumstances, and risk management is the process. So the most important thing about risk is managing it correctly. So risk treatment options, we'll see when we delve into the detail in the course, will be how we manage the risk, how we treat the risk. And if the risk inherently is high likelihood and high consequence and it's intolerable, then usually you've got a risk appetite, then you've got to get it down, and you can do that by either decreasing the severity, the likelihood, or decreasing both. And different measures, risk treatments, risk controls can achieve that. Direct parallel to that, in opportunity or enabling options, you've got to enhance the level of opportunity level. You've got to get it up. Here you've got to reduce it to as low as reasonably practical. Here you get it as high as reasonably practical. And there's a direct parallel. You might start off with an opportunity that's below your minimum prospect, and you want to get it up by increasing the likelihood, increase the value. So enablers will achieve that. Just a little warning I always make is be careful of words like risk appetite in health and safety and environment and quality. Even risk appetite becomes an unpalatable word. It worries people a lot. You shouldn't have any appetite for risk, is often said. So I always recommend term tolerance.
Okay.
And lastly, just to remind you, then you'll get out of attending these. I'm not going to go through them again. I just thought I'd see that there is a large number, and I'm really looking forward to meeting as many people as possible and as many of the viewers as possible. Give it serious thought coming along, and I'll share many years of experience. No one ever walks away from my courses without having enjoyed it, as well as being informed and a lot of practical uses. I hope that's helped, Emily.
Yeah, love it.
So remember, fortune favors the wise, not the brave.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm excited about the course now. I want to pop in there and learn about all the things you've just talked about with risk and opportunity. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today.
Yeah.
Switch our view to, let's see, clicking on buttons here. There we go. So is there anything else you want to give us about the course or about the companies you work for and your consulting? Any final plug, any things that people need to be prepared for in the course, materials they need? I know you said it's for a beginner or up into advanced. And you gave us a lot of great information. So I'm going to pass the floor to you one more time. Anything you forgot to mention, go ahead and let us have it.
Good, Emily, thanks. Well, one thing is every participant gets a USB stick,
Okay.
which is a copy of all the slides. And I also give a lot of basic references that I've accumulated over the years. And all the hundreds of people have done the course in the past. And by the way, I do update it every year. So I'll be doing it for many years, but I do update it every year with new standards and new methods. And nearly all the participants have said that they've got a lot of value out of this, but you get the copy of the slides as well. And I think that's really all about it. I think, I suppose, no, there's one more thing is I do ask at the end of the course, or I give you the attendees the option of, I'm prepared to do a little bit of private mentoring after the course. So as well as doing many examples themselves during the course, I give people a chance to, when they go back to their workplaces, to try the tools and methods out and send back their results, email them back to me, and I'll give them a critique. And I think it's part of better learning.
Yes. Yeah, I love templates. So my ears perked up when you said, oh, and there's templates we can use. So
yeah.
Excellent. Are you going to stick around for the summit after the pre-summit courses?
Yes, I've been going now 20 plus years. So
awesome. It'll be good to see you. We're going to be at the Knoxville Convention Center for those that are watching or listening in. And the summit week is May 2nd through 6th in Knoxville, Tennessee. And it is the event is held at the Knoxville Convention Center. It's a beautiful place. We have tons of restaurants and things to do around downtown. And that's kind of all we do here in Knoxville is eat and shop. So there'll be plenty to do if you're visiting, traveling in. So again, I want to thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you in May and to learn more about your course. And if people want to reach out to you, you have a website. I know you're on LinkedIn, or some other ways for people to contact you if they want to know more or want to kind of network or get in touch with you.
Yeah. Yes, it's very simple. It's Jim@workplaces with an s.com.au.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and let you get back to your day. Mine is coming to a close. It's about time for me to make dinner, and I'm sure you're going to have lunch in a few hours. So
yeah. Good.
All
yeah,
right.
It was nice speaking to you.
You too. Thank you. Talk soon.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.